Hello Kyle, hello YouTube, hello guys, how you doing? It's Up to Date Bros again here with another installment of how to get to financial freedom. Um, so in last week's episode, I was talking about the general concept of FIRE, and I said a couple of things that I was doing to help me generate a bit of extra income. So today I wanted to talk about a bit more about those things that I do, those ways to generate money, those opportunities that are out there for everybody to generate money. And what I'm talking about today is the real things that I'm doing or I'm planning to doing very shortly in my own life, and they worked for me, or I am confident that they will work. So this is nothing. I will mention a couple of other things as well um, that can work, that have made a lot of money for a lot of people, and that I might give a try in the future as I'm building my understanding of how to make money on the internet in the most efficient way. So number one, the easiest way to make more money is to get a pay rise. No, that sounds horrible. But you already got a job, and in probably a high, there's probably a high likelihood that you're doing more, you're doing extra work, and that you're doing more than you're paid for. So there is potentially a chance that if you look at your job description and what your role actually is, and you look at your day-to-day tasks, and then you can go to your boss and say, look, boss, this is what I'm doing versus what my job description was when I signed on, and my salary statement. So is there any way that we can combine the two? And I obviously increased my knowledge of the business, etc. Can I get more money? So that's a potential way you could go about it. Something that I'm doing currently as well. I'm in negotiations. I've done a course that the company paid for, and I now got a new qualification, and now I'm in negotiations with the company to get a pay rise. So it sounds lame, but that's the easiest way. You already got your active income. You're working for money. To make more money is that. Now, number two is a website called Fiverr, where you can put gigs, as they are called, on, and those gigs can range from doing book reviews to writing marketing emails to designing something, to designing logos, or writing an illustrated book, or making illustrations, or playing games with some people. So there's a huge variety that people are looking for, and on the website it claims that every 5 seconds a gig is purchased. So definitely go check it out, and see what gigs are out there, and see what qualities, what abilities you have that you could market. So maybe you're good in customer service, so you got a lot of experience in that regard, customer service or team management, how to have those difficult conversations, how to write difficult customer emails, etc. Those kind of things. You won't get rich on them at first. You need to build a following. You need to build your reputation. You need to get good reviews for your gigs, that you're legitimate, that you deliver on time, etc. But it's a good way to earn a little side income, and I'm doing that as well. And it's generating a couple $100 a month or so. That are just really helpful. That you didn't have previously. So hey, that's good. Now the third way to go about making a bit more money is going to car boot sales, garage sales, clearance sales, anything where you can buy stuff for cheap and then going online and flipping it for profit. Now, some people take that to the extreme and make an absolute fortune on it, and some people make it in a smaller setting. So I'm just trying it out in a smaller setting where I'm going to car boot sales, and I'm having a look out for items that I think will sell online, and then I'll sell them. And I'm also looking at clearance sales, and purchasing things there and trying to sell them on eBay, on Facebook Marketplace, on Amazon. So there's a variety of different platforms out there where you can sell stuff, and it doesn't have to be expensive. So it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money to do this. Just a couple of quid that you're going down to the car boot sale, and you buy things, and you start small. You've got £5. You buy something for £5. You sell it for 10. You doubled your money. And then you take that £10 and you buy something at the next car boot sale, and you sell that for 15, for 20, etc. And you can build a nice pot of money that way. That as long as you reinvest it, you can make a decent side income. Now, this is probably the time where all the ways I've described so far are active incomes, so they are side hustles. So this isn't passive income. So this isn't something where you generate money for doing not a lot of work. I mean, it can be, Fiverr especially can be passive income if you write a lot of marketing emails, and then you just change little things, so there's minimal active work required for you to churn through customers if you get to that point. So there are some ways that could become passive, or you can give £5 to your friend or so who's going to a car boot sale, to other people who are going to car boot sale, and tell, buy me something, and then you just put it online and sell it. So there's some time savings there for you. So there's ways and means to get there, but mainly these are things that require some active working from your part to be successful, and it is still exchanging time for money, but at this point it's all about just having some side hustles, getting some more money in that you can then invest in the stock market, in real estate or so, which can then become your passive income. You then get dividend payments, you then get rental income, etc. So that is where I'm going with my ideas, with my workings. Now, number 4 is for me what I've been doing is house hacking. So it's a topic that is contentious for some people. You buy your own place and it's yours. You want to enjoy it. You don't want to share it with other people, but you can if you buy a 2-bedroom house, a 2-bedroom flat, a 3-bedroom house, 3-bedroom flat, etc., and you only need 1 room, 2 rooms, then you still got 1 or 2 rooms spare that you could rent out, and then all of a sudden that rental income covers your mortgage payments. So you're living in your house for free, and maybe even you're making some extra money, some profit. So all of a sudden you're getting paid to own your house. So that's essentially passive income right there, house hacking. Now, normally people don't tend to stay long, so rent a room is normally a more short-term arrangement that can be terminated relatively quickly, and they don't have the same rights as if they were a proper and as if it was a proper rental property, because you're the owner occupier, you're still there, and they just rent a room in your property, so you still have the majority of the rights, and the uh, the people renting from you, they really have only the very basic minimum rights in your property. So it's great to start getting into that kind of real estate landlordy role, and see how it works, without having giving up your property essentially. Well, you're giving your property or a part of your property up, but you're not buying a new build, or so you're not buying a property and then putting a tenant in it, and you have no control over it anymore, and the tenant, you know what I mean. I'm sorry if I'm not explaining this properly, but that's the basic gist of it. And I'm just doing house hacking, and so far I think I was very skeptical, but I'm actually really enjoying it, getting that little bit of income in that covers my mortgage, and it's actually a great way to live in your house for free. Now the fifth way is something that's talked about a lot, that I've tried and I have failed with it, but I'm gonna try it again, and that's drop shipping. Using Shopify or e-commerce, or all the other platforms out there that you can use, and then it's basically it's a larger scale of the car boot sale. So you're buying something from cheap from AliExpress or Alibaba or Wish, or basically buying something cheap from China, and then you're selling it on your own website that you drive traffic through to, and you're selling somebody else's product. You can do it via Amazon FBA. You can do eBay drop shipping. You can do your own store and set up your own little business and do that. So there's multiple different ways, and some people have made a lot of money with it. As I said, I tried it. I was a bit naive about it, and I failed with it. But I can see the merits of it, and I'm reading up on it a lot more now, and I'm structuring my new business a lot better in how I'd go about it. So I've recently come across a different way of thinking, that is, start with the customer. So get the customer first. When you got the customer, then you can worry about the product and all that. So when you got the customer and you know what the customer wants, then that's the product you're going to get to the customer, and then you can worry about, well, where do I get that product from? But it's easier that way. Whereas my business that I did at first was, oh, I like that, I think this is cool, I would buy that. I went from my own perspective, and sourced items that the customer didn't want. So that's why I failed, and why I pulled the plug after 6 months on it, where I just spend money on advertising. Now this is not free like the other ways that are requiring little to no money. Dropshipping does require some money. It can be a lot or it can be a little. It really depends on if you've got a hot selling item. If you had for example, if you had I forgot the name now. Fidget spinners. that's the one. If you had the fidget spinners when there was an absolute craze about it a few years ago, and you were selling that, and you bought them for 50p and you sold them for £1, and everybody was wanting them, you could have made an absolute fortune on that. So it depends. If you've got a good product that people are actually wanting, there you go. Then advertising becomes a lot easier. But it's still, advertising is the where I got burned as well. So it's have a really good thing. Really look into dropshipping more before you start, because that's what I did, and I crashed and burned with it. But it's still a good way. Now, the other way, as I said previously, if you've got money already and you're looking for investment opportunities, then obviously stock market investments or real estate investments are number 6 and 7 on the list, and that's really where you've already got money and you're just putting it to use, and that's what I would coin the more passive income. I would probably say for the stock market investing, buy broad index funds. S&P 500 is always talked about, the 500 biggest companies in the US. FTSE All Share in the UK, the German DAX, the Japanese Nikkei, the Dow Jones in America in general, something that like broadly tracks the market. At the moment we are in a bit of a volatile market situation. You've got the trade war going on between the US and China, so that's impacting those markets, and you've got Brexit in Europe, which is impacting the European markets. So it's all a bit up in the air at the moment in regards to what is happening, but really there's never a better time to invest. So you can't predict the market. So it might all stabilize and all of a sudden the market keeps going up, or it might all crash and you were right to wait. I don't know. I just think if you've got the money, there is never a better time than right now to invest. And as I said in a previous video, I think it's all about time in the market rather than timing the market. So the longer you stay in the market, over a great period of time, the market will always perform well, and you'll always get 7 to 10% return annually, and that's more than all right. Of course, then you get compound interest working with it as well. So it's a great way to make some money, especially if you don't need the money. And the same with buying rental properties. Now this is something that I'm looking in as well right now. Getting a second mortgage to buy a second property to rent out. Yes, it's once you have it. I'm looking at it not for the flipping side of things, which you can do as well. Buy something cheap, fix it up, flip it, and make a profit on it. I'm looking at it from the cash flow perspective to build my net worth. I've got a property that's worth X amount, and I'm hopefully got a tenant that pays my mortgage and maybe even gives me a little bit of profit. And as such, I've got a second property for free, and making money that way until the mortgage is paid off, and then I've got a property worth X sitting there that has been in my net worth and has increased over time, as property tends to do as well. That's my ideas. Now, some honorable mentions that I'm looking at right now that I haven't tried yet are affiliate marketing. So I'm just looking at affiliate marketing a little bit to see how that would work for me. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to give it a try. But if you ever see me mentioning something like that or doing reviews or so, then it's actually something that I actually fully believe in. So lastly, it would be things like driving for Uber Eats or Uber or Lyft, and doing it that way. And now I don't have a car, so I can't do that. But I know people do make some decent money that way. I'm looking at it, if I get a car, to do that. But there again, it is you're exchanging time for money, and since I'm already doing a couple of other things, like going to car boot sales and attending clearance sales and all of that, that's already a bit time consuming on top of my day job. So I'm unsure if I'm going to do anything in that regard. Um, so yeah, that's basically my thoughts on ways to generate some money and some side hustles. And as I said, most of those are where you actually have to do the work up front, and there is no income guaranteed, especially in the stock market or so. So things can crash and burn, and you lose all your money. Nobody knows what's going to happen basically. So I was just giving you my ideas, things that I'm trying that have worked for me in the past, that are working for me right now, and yeah, a bit of my ideas of why I'm trying to do these things. So yeah, I hope you liked that video, guys. If you did, leave a comment below, hit the notification bell, give us a like, smash the like button, and yeah, I hope to see you guys on the next one, where I'll talk a bit more about financial freedom. Alright guys, see you later, cheerio.